Hi, welcome to the Slimline Consulting slideshow. In this slideshow, I will talk about the protein group, also known as meat or meat substitute group. An adequate amount of protein is required daily to maintain the body in a healthy state. Proteins are essential in the diet for proper functioning of the body, including the growth and repair of tissues. Proteins are also a major part of hormones and enzymes. Proteins in the body are constantly being broken down and need to be replaced. Proteins also provide energy. In a well-balanced diet, proteins provide about 15% of the daily energy need. Proteins are made up of amino acids. There are 20 different amino acids that join together in various sequences to make all types of protein. Out of the 20 amino acids, some of the amino acids cannot be made by our body and need to be provided through daily diet. These proteins are known as essential amino acids. It is essential that our daily diet includes these amino acids in proper proportions. Proteins are divided into three categories: complete proteins, incomplete proteins, and complementary proteins. The quality of a protein depends on its content of essential amino acids. The protein foods that provide all essential amino acids in proper proportion are called complete proteins or high-quality proteins. These proteins are absorbed by the body much better. Animal-based foods like meat, poultry, fish, milk, yogurt, eggs, and cheese are considered complete protein sources. Proteins that lack one or more essential amino acids are referred to as partial or incomplete proteins. Plant-based foods like grains, nuts, beans, seeds, peas, and corn are considered incomplete proteins. When two incomplete proteins can be combined to compensate for each other's lack of amino acids, they are called complementary proteins. In a balanced diet, all nutrients should be in proper proportion. The body does not store protein, whereas carbohydrates and fats are stored by the body. The correct balance of carbohydrates and protein needs to be consumed daily in order for the body to function at optimum levels. In a balanced diet, in general 45% to 60% of your daily calorie intake should be from carbohydrates. That is, average 55% of daily calories from the carbohydrates. 20% to 35% of your daily calories should be from fat. That is, average 30% of daily calories from the fats. In general, average 15% of daily calories from the proteins. In daily diet, protein calories should not be more than 30% of daily calories. Too much proteins are harmful to your body. If a diet contains more than 30% of total calories from protein for longer duration, it may have following effects. It may stress kidneys and contribute to pre-existing kidney problems. It may cause dehydration. Too much protein in diet causes a buildup of toxic substance in body known as ketones, which can put an individual at risk of dehydration, particularly if the person exercises heavily. The dehydration also strains your kidneys and puts stress on your cardiac system. It may make you feel weak and dizzy as there will be less carbohydrates to provide energy to perform daily routine tasks. It may cause bad breath. Too many proteins in the diet for longer duration leaches calcium from bones. Therefore, it is advisable to talk to your registered dietitian or physician before beginning a high-protein diet. Proteins are present in almost all foods of animal and plant origin. Milk and dairy products are excellent source of high-quality protein, and also very good source of calcium, vitamin D and potassium. Animal sources of proteins, all meats including red meat, white meat, are a good source of protein and many other nutrients like calcium and iron and vitamin B12. Red meat most commonly comes from the flesh of big mammals like cows, pig, lamb and goat. It is excellent source of many nutrients like zinc, iron, thiamine and riboflavin, vitamins B12, and B6. Red meat is high in calories and high in saturated fat, i.e., bad fat, and lacks in dietary fiber. Red meat consumption is linked to many diseases including cardiovascular diseases. Meat does provide important nutrients that support good health when eaten in moderation. White meat is pale before it is cooked, such as poultry and fish. White meat most commonly refers as light meat or lean meat. In comparison with red meat, white meat has fewer calories. For all meat, any visible fat should be trimmed off prior to cooking. Seafood is an excellent source of protein, vitamins, and minerals. Mostly it is low in fat, cholesterol and sodium. Fish is a good source of vitamin B, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, biotin and niacin. Fish is a good source of several minerals, especially iron, phosphorus, potassium and zinc. It is recommended to eat at least 3 times a week with other lean meat protein options. Some fish like salmon has moderate fat content. This fat is good fat, heart healthy, as it has omega-3 fatty acids. Recommendation: not more than twice a week. Cooking tip: grilled salmon, eat with salads and or grilled vegetables. Vegetable protein is considered to be incomplete unless combined with complementary protein source. Grains and legumes are a rich source of protein content, with carbohydrate and fiber, and is low in fat. Legumes are also rich sources of some B-complex vitamins. Grains are also rich in minerals like calcium and iron. Soybean products are good sources of proteins, for example tofu and soy milk. Nuts and oil seeds and avocado are high in protein, fiber, antioxidants and monounsaturated fats, which are healthy fats, and provide a sense of fullness or satisfaction. Choose nuts in unsalted form. There are a few high-protein vegetables, such as mushrooms, spinach, cauliflower, okra, broccoli, and asparagus. Mushrooms offer high-quality proteins, vitamins like niacin and other important B-complex vitamins, unsaturated fatty acids and fiber. Vegetables are also a great source of nutrients with high levels of vitamins and minerals. By learning what foods complement each other, it is possible to create a perfectly balanced meal with the proper proportions of proteins. This will ensure that your body is getting all the essential amino acids it requires for optimal body functions. 2 incomplete proteins, when combined in proper combination and eaten in the same meal, can provide all the essential amino acids that human body requires. Here are a few examples of combinations of complementary proteins to create a complete protein in one meal. Grains with legumes. A sample meal is rice and lentils. Legumes with nuts or seeds. Sample meal is lentils and roasted or cooked peanuts. Grains with dairy. Example is milk and cereals. Cheese and whole wheat pasta. Yogurt and rice. Dairy with seeds and nuts. Example meal is yogurt mixed with sesame and flax seeds. Salads with nuts, for example roasted peanuts, or almond and low-fat yogurt or cottage cheese. By learning what foods complement each other, it is possible to create a perfectly balanced meal with the proper proportions of proteins. This will ensure that your body is getting all the essential amino acids it requires for optimal body functions. Vegetarian protein quality can be increased by combination of 2 or more legumes like chickpeas, black-eyed peas. Combination of legumes and nuts like almonds, peanuts, pine nuts. Combination of legumes and low-calorie milk products like yogurt, cottage cheese. Combining cereals like rice, wheat with plows and legumes. Mixed grilled vegetables with few roasted nuts and or low-fat yogurt dressing. Special considerations for vegetarian protein source. Soak legumes and pulses before cooking. Almost all pulses and legumes can be sprouted, which increases their nutritional value. It increases the vitamin B complex content. One should limit use of oil in preparation. Serve it with dash of lemon for better utilization and absorption of proteins. Our protein needs depend on our weight, age, gender, physiological health condition, size, and physical activity level. In general, male needs more proteins than females as they have more muscle tissues than females. On an average, medium healthy frame adult men need about 56 to 66 grams of proteins per day, and an average medium frame adult women need about 55 to 60 grams of proteins per day. Recommended number of protein exchanges per day for vegetarians. One exchange of protein provides 7 grams of protein. To get 7 grams of protein, one needs to consume about 1 cup of milk or 1 cup cooked cereals or 1 cup cooked beans. 1 cup milk will provide 12 grams of carbohydrate, while 1 cup of cooked beans will provide 7 grams of protein and 30 grams of carbohydrates, i.e., 2 carbohydrate exchanges. Because 1 carb exchanges a half cup cooked beans. An individual who is on a low-calorie vegetarian diet, say 1500 calories per day, requires 55 to 70 grams of proteins, which is about 8 to 10 protein exchanges. To get 55 to 70 grams of proteins, one can select any 8 to 10 protein choices from Protein Exchange list. He or she can select any 3 choices from dairy exchanges, which will provide him about 24 grams of proteins and 36 grams of carbohydrates, and any 4 choices from cereals, grains exchanges, which will provide 16 grams of proteins and 60 grams of carbohydrates. Any 2 choices from beans and lentils will provide 14 grams of proteins and 60 grams of carbohydrates. A serving of nuts will provide 7 grams of protein and 15 grams of carbohydrates. The above combination of protein choices will provide about 57 grams of proteins, 15% of total calories, and 200 grams of carbohydrates, 54% of total calories. Vegetarian protein choices always have more percentage of carbohydrate than meat choices, but even then, vegetarian diet can't get to be a balanced diet. Recommended number of protein exchanges per day for persons who eat meat and fish. 1 exchange of non-vegetarian protein exchange provides 7 grams of protein and 0 grams of carbohydrates. An individual who is on a 1500 calorie non-vegetarian diet, i.e., low-calorie non-vegetarian balanced diet, requires 8 protein exchanges. An individual who is on a 1500 calorie non-vegetarian diet requires 56 grams of proteins, which is 8 protein exchanges. To get 56 grams of proteins, one can select any 7 protein choices from Protein Exchange list. For example, one can select 3 choices from dairy exchanges, which will provide about 24 grams of proteins and 36 grams of carbohydrates. Any 4 choices from egg, meat and fish, and 1 achanch grains and beans exchanges, which will provide 7 grams of proteins and 30 grams of carbohydrates. Thank you for watching presentation on the protein group, which is a part of Slimline Consulting's Nutrition Guide for a Healthy Living. Most of the protein foods are listed in the Slimline Consulting Nutrition Guide. To learn about the next part of the guide, view the next slideshow, the lipids and fat group.